These are 5 facts about the 10 smallest nations in the world. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. We're starting off with Vatican City. You cannot be born a Vatican City citizen even if you're born in Vatican City. You are given citizenship by the Pope. One of the official languages of Vatican City is Italian, but there's also Latin. In fact, its ATM has instructions in Latin. The entirety of Vatican City is regarded as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is the only country in the world that has this status and was given this status in 1984. Vatican City is a country. I recognise it as a country, you recognise it as a country. Every country in the world recognises Vatican City as a country, but it's not in the United Nations. And this is simply because it doesn't want to be. It wants to keep neutral. And the Pope is actually protected by the Swiss Guard. This all started back in 1506 by Pope Julius II, however not everyone can become a Swiss Guard. You must be at least 18 to 30 years old, you must be male, and you have to be exactly 5'8" tall. You also have to be a Christian and have basic military training. So that was episode 1 and Vatican City. Episode 2 will be on Tuvalu. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. This video is all about Tuvalu. Tuvalu is one of 22 countries in the world which does not have an army. However, they really don't need it because they're from the Pacific Islands. They're hard as nails. Tuvalu's main source of income comes from its domain name .tv. It sources to companies such as Amazon and Twitch. After the end of World War II, Funafuti Airfield later became Funafuti International Airport, and of course, this is still used today. Per capita, Tuvalu has the highest support of a British monarch of any country in the world. Support is so high, when the government tries to change the flag to look more like a republic, protests kicked off. And in 2022, Tuvalu announced plans as the first country in the world to build a self-digital replica in the metaverse. This is because they want to preserve their cultural heritage with the risk of rising sea levels destroying their country. So that is part 2 and Tuvalu. I'm actually doing this by population from smallest to largest, which is why part 3 will be all about Nauru, the smallest republic in the world. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. This video is all about Nauru. Nauru is the smallest republic in the world at a whopping 21 square kilometers. If you want to put how small that is into perspective, it can take you around 3.5 hours to 6 hours to run around the entire island. Due to the phosphate deposits on the island, at one point, Nauru was also the richest country in the world. Nauru is one of the only countries in the world with no official capital. When you do quizzes or when you look up the capital of Nauru, Yaren typically pops up as the answer, but Nauru has no official capital. And the last 2 facts are all about this man, Jeza Uwepa, who was a former Nauruan powerlifter. He at one point held the world record for the heaviest raw squat at 470 kilos. And to this day, he still holds the unofficial world record for the heaviest front squat at 405 kilos. To put that in perspective, that is about 5.5 of me. And he can squat that. Jesus. So that was Nauru. I'm doing this series by population from smallest to largest, so part 4 will be on Palau. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. This video is all about Palau. You will have noticed on the flag of Palau that the disc is slightly off centre. This was an intentional design choice because when the flag is flown, when wind is blown, it appears centre. The capital city of Palau is Gorilman. The population is around 312, but the city proper population is technically 0. This makes Gorilman Palau the least populated capital city from a sovereign nation. In 2017, Palau requested that tourists sign something called the Palau Pledge. This requires tourists to respect the environmental and ecological system of the country. Palau is home to Jellyfish Lake, which is a marine lake consisting of 5 million non-stinging transparent jellyfish. And Palau is one of 22 countries in the world which does not have its own army. Instead, it relies on the United States for its defence. And just last year, they signed a state partnership with Guam. So that was Palau. I am doing this series by population from least populated to most populated, so the next video will be on San Marino. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. This video is all about San Marino. San Marino is the oldest republic in the world. It was first founded in 301 AD. Abraham Lincoln was once an honorary citizen of San Marino once they gained independence in 1861. In their history, San Marino have only won 2 professional football matches, and both were against Liechtenstein. They've also won 1 friendly match, and that was also against Liechtenstein. Also, just a quick bonus fact, San Marino prevented England from qualifying for the 1994 World Cup because England needed to beat San Marino by 7 goals to qualify. However, San Marino scored within the first 10 seconds. The result of the match was 7-1 England, a 6-goal difference, which wasn't enough for England to qualify. San Marino has one of the lowest homicide rates in the world. Per 100,000 people, there are 0 homicides. And San Marino is also one of the safest countries to drive in. Per 100,000 people, there are 0 road accidents. So those were 5 facts about San Marino. I'm doing this series by countries from least populated to most populated, so the next video will be on the Marshall Islands. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. This video is all about the Marshall Islands. Bikini Atoll, which is part of the Marshall Islands, is believed to be the inspiration for the location of SpongeBob SquarePants. Alongside Bikini Atoll, the Atoll of Eniwetok was used as a nuclear testing site between 1946 and 1958. The United States dropped 12 biological weapon tests and 67 nuclear bombs on the atolls. And whilst you can visit these islands, there are some restrictions and you'll need a guide. The Marshall Islands is home to the world's largest shark sanctuary. Commercial fishing of sharks is banned. The capital city of the Marshall Islands, Majuro, which has a population of around 23,000, is actually an island made up of 64 different atolls. And by total land area, the Marshall Islands is the 7th smallest country in the world. However, the Marshall Islands are scattered across 750,000 square miles, which is almost 2 million square kilometers. To put that in perspective, that is roughly the same size as the land area of Mexico, which is the 14th largest country by land area in the world. So those are 5 facts about the Marshall Islands. I'm doing this by country from least populated to most populated, so the next episode will be on Monaco. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. This video is all about Monaco. Monaco has the highest life expectancy in the world at 86.5 years. Despite the fact that Monaco is not the smallest country in the world, it's the smallest nation that is in the United Nations, as the Vatican is not in the United Nations. Only 24.1% of the population of Monaco are actually monarchies. 1 of every 3 people in Monaco are millionaires. This should not surprise you. Monaco is essentially a tax haven. The average GDP per capita is around $256,000. That is ridiculous. And despite the fact that Monte Carlo Casino is located in Monaco, if you're monarchies, it is illegal for you to gamble or even visit a casino. This all dates back to the 19th century when Prince Charles III wanted to protect the monarchy's citizens financially. So even though millions of tourists flock to the casinos every year, if you're a monarchy's resident and you want to gamble, good luck, because it's not allowed. So those are 5 facts about Monaco. I'm doing this by least populated to the most populated country in the world, so the next video will be on Liechtenstein. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. This video is all about Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is one of 2 countries in the world which is classed as double landlocked, meaning it is a landlocked country that is only bordered by other landlocked countries. The other one is Uzbekistan. Instead of Russia selling Alaska to the United States, at one point Russia almost sold Alaska to Liechtenstein. Up until 2009, Liechtenstein refused to recognise Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic, or Slovakia as sovereign nations. This is because after World War II, Czechoslovakia confiscated property that once belonged to the Liechtenstein royal family, but in 2009, no legal action was taken any further. Liechtenstein is actually a world manufacturer of false teeth. Over 20% of sales of false teeth come from Liechtenstein companies. And Liechtenstein does not have a single major international airport. The closest international airport to Liechtenstein is Zurich, Switzerland. But flying from Liechtenstein is still possible, as they do have a heliport. So those are 5 facts about Liechtenstein. How I'm doing this series is I'm starting from the least populated country to the most populated country, so the next video will be on St. Kitts and Nevis. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. This video is all about St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis by area is the smallest independent country in the Western Hemisphere. The island of St. Kitts was also the first English colony in the Caribbean. It actually earned the title the Mother Colony of the West Indies. St. Kitts and Nevis is home to 44 different varieties of mango. I love mangoes, so I love this fact. The capital city of St. Kitts and Nevis is Basta, which is the same as the capital city of Guadeloupe. Basta in French means lowland. At one point, St. Kitts was a French colony, despite the fact that today, English is one of the official languages of the country. And Alexander Hamilton, one of the founding fathers of the United States, was actually born in St. Kitts and Nevis. He grew up on the island of Nevis before his affluent parents sent him to New York City for education. So those were 5 facts about St. Kitts and Nevis. Since I'm doing this series by population from smallest to largest, the next video will be on Greenland. These are 5 facts about every single country in the world. This video is all about Greenland. Since 2022, Greenland has shared a border with Canada on Hans Island after a treaty was signed. 80% of Greenland is ice and glaciers, so as you can imagine, it's pretty cold. Greenland is the most sparsely populated nation in the world. There are 0.03 people per square kilometre. All of northeast Greenland is classed as a national park. This also makes it the largest national park in the world. And Greenland is the world's largest island. It is not Australia. The reason why Greenland is classed as the world's largest island and not Australia is because Australia is classed as a continental landmass, whereas Greenland is not. If we started classing Australia as an island, people could then start making arguments for the Americas being an island, Afro-Eurasia being an island. We'd be here forever discussing islands. That is why Greenland is classed as the world's largest island.